When legal aid is required, what you need most is someone you can trust, as we'll find out in this next story.
Work should be a place of opportunity, growth, and respect. Unfortunately, for some employees, discrimination remains a harsh reality.
Workplace discrimination is rampant in our society, and it's what we fight every day. It essentially deals with workers being treated unfairly, being targeted, being diminished, or not being given their rights under the law because of some immutable characteristic that they have that the law protects. If you don't know what laws protect you and how they protect you, you can't take advantage of them. Once you know your rights, then you can be an effective advocate for yourself and you can go on the record to protect your rights.
An employee may not seek an attorney for fear of what may happen if they did, possibly losing their job, and they simply may not just know their rights. The biggest challenges that employees face regarding workplace discrimination, often it's done behind closed doors. You may not have a tangible piece of evidence that, hey, this is going on, but it is going on. So an employee may have a challenge in terms of proving that this is going on.
With decades of combined experience, Filippatos PLLC is an employment law firm dedicated to providing you with highly effective legal representation.
We have attorneys who specialize in employment law and only represent individuals. We don't represent companies. It's essentially the individual against the corporate entity. And the individual needs backing when they're treated badly. And if the employer wants to fire an employee, in most jurisdictions, they can do it, quote unquote, at will. We come in to level the playing field and make sure that we find justice for that employee.
The most common forms of workplace discrimination is gender or sex discrimination. Another one I see a lot is disability discrimination. They find themselves in an environment where, they feel out of place, they're possibly not being welcomed as they would expect. The first thing they should do is contact an attorney. I understand that's very daunting, so if they don't want to do that, they should at least begin to document what's going on. Because unless you document things, you end up forgetting it, and it doesn't exist, so to speak.
It's important for employees to know and understand that HR is there for the best interest of the employer.
HR is really part of the company, and they're there ultimately to make sure that the company is protected. What's more important is that you seek competent legal counsel so that you know what to say to human resources and you use human resources to protect you instead of giving human resources any kind of ammunition that the company might use against you.
We spend a lot of time in our workplace, and so having that treatment in the workplace, it's incredibly destabilizing for them. Outside of work, inside of work, and it affects your career trajectory. We may guide you to do one of multiple avenues in advocating for yourself. It could be internal complaints, filing in an external agency, or even pursuing litigation.
A number of employees who come to us are pretty scared and they feel pretty isolated in the situation that they're in, especially if they've already tried to seek assistance within their company and they've been stonewalled. Seeking out advice from an attorney is a really helpful way to get the support that you need and take steps towards making the situation right.
While there are several laws in place to protect employees from unfair treatment based on race, gender, age, disability, and other protected characteristics, cases of discrimination continue to surface.
Employees are not expected to know exactly what discrimination looks like or how exactly to describe it under the law. However, we always want employees to educate themselves, know who to speak to, know where to find those resources, and stick up for themselves as well as their colleagues.
Often employees are afraid to rock the boat. They don't want to say too much, so they hold back about what they've been experiencing. You need to document what happens to you step by step after you complain. Anything that would dissuade a reasonable employee from complaining counts as retaliation. If you complain and something happens afterwards that makes you feel like you wish you didn't complain, that's something you should be writing down and explaining to counsel when you seek advice.
We're there to make sure that the playing field is level so that you can do your job the way that the law intends you to do your job, protected from unfair treatment and unlawful discrimination.
For more information on Filippatos PLLC, visit their website, philippatoslaw.com, or you can see this segment again on thebalancingAct.com.